But the whole reason why we intermittent fast is, see, every time you guys eat, we have a spike in blood sugar, which produces an insulin response. So insulin is a necessary hormone. You would die without it. That's what happens in type 1 diabetes in most circumstances. Something happens to the pancreas where it cannot produce insulin, and you need to inject insulin instead. We need insulin. We would die without it. That's what tells, lets our cells use energy, lets energy into the cells out of the blood. So it takes the blood sugar, puts the energy into the cell. It's just when we have high insulin levels all the time, we're basically trying to stuff energy into our cells all day long. A lot of times our cells are already full of blood, of glucose and sugar, right? It's like you just keep eating constantly and insulin's released. Insulin tells the body to take the energy out of the blood and stuff it into the cell. So, you have energy, which again, we need this process. But if we're eating all day long, we're eating too many carbohydrates, those cells are already full of energy. They can only store so much energy inside the cell in the form of glycogen. And then they'll after that, you'll store a little bit of glycogen or glucose in the liver. So first it's stored in the muscle so that we have energy to move and go throughout our day. Then we'll store a little bit in the liver. And then it's like, well, what do we do with this? We just keep eating. We eat too many carbohydrates. The liver's full. The muscle tissues are full of energy. That's where your body's going to say, oh crap, I have too much here. The liver's going to convert it to fat. That's where we get a fatty liver. That's where we start to get too fat and have too much stored energy. So what do we do? It's like, okay, if high insulin is the problem, what do we do to reverse that? We bring down insulin levels. And so that's where fasting, time restricted eating, bringing your carb level down, that's the ultimate goal. It's not to be crazy. It's not to say, oh gosh, I can't have any sugar ever again. Like those are not the goals. The goal is to bring insulin levels down. So when you bring insulin levels down, you're not forcing energy inside the cell. So then your body can say, oh, cool. Like I'm not having to force all this energy in the cell. Now I can release it. I can say, oh, my brain needs some sugar, or my body needs some energy. Oh, cool. I have a whole bunch stored here in my liver. I have some in my muscle tissues, and it will dump it. And then your body burns that. After all that is gone, your body has to look for a new fueling system. Fat, that's what we want, right? We want to burn our stored body fat. That's what it's there for. That is why we have stored body fat. We have it to burn. It's there for times when we aren't taking in carbohydrate, we aren't eating. So your body is then forced to say, oh gosh, all the sugar is gone. Now I have to find another fueling source. And that's where the body fat